Hi guys, and welcome back to Dice Down Gaming. It's time for the Warmachine monthly meta sort of roundup. I'm going to pick 3 events from across the globe, trying to pick from different places. I'm going to run through the top 3 lists, or the top team in a team event. We're going to take a look at what the lists look like and see if we can see any trends from what we've seen in terms of maybe command cards or the general list we're seeing. Are we seeing single wound infantry? Are we seeing cohort heavy, etc.? Before I jump into that, a massive thank you to anyone who's subscribed to my channel so far. I think I'm over 600 now, which is just wild. For full transparency, I don't make any money yet. I have to break 3,000 public view hours, and when I do that, I believe I can apply to some sort of partnership, and there's ways of making a small amount of money when I break that. 1,000 subscribers unlocks another threshold. I need 4,000 view hours, and then I can also apply to some sort of partner program. I have no idea how any of it works. Nonetheless, I'm massively grateful to anyone who subscribed to my channel so far. If you like what I'm doing and you're not subscribed, I'd be really grateful if you subscribe and like the video. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you think of the meta so far and how it's going to progress with Old Umbre coming out, Phantasm being released very soon. Yeah, it's going to be great to see. So let's jump into this. Before I do that, I want to give a shout out to the website I'm using. It's called Longshanks. It's a fantastic website. You can host your tournaments here. Has a wealth of data on all the tournaments hosted here. Some really great search functionality to sift through the data. So yeah, I would recommend using Longshanks for both running events, but also for looking through data like I am today. So the 3 events I picked today are Hadocon. This is from Australia. We've got Dragon's Fury Wrath. This is a team event from Oregon, USA. And we've got TTC SummerSlam. This is from the UK. And we're going to go through each of these events. We're going to pick the top 3 lists, or in the Dragon's Fury's Wrath, we're going to pick the top team, because that's 5 lists. We're going to look through the list, see what cards they've taken, see what the list look like. And at the end of the video, we're going to try and make some sort of summary and comment on what we've seen. I've got the Warmachine app ready, so I can fact check myself if I don't know what's going on. But with that out of the way, let's kick off with Hadocon. This was a 20-player event from Australia. The top 3 looked like Shadowflame Shard, Gravediggers, and then Necrofactorium. By the looks of it, Gravediggers, Necrofactorium, Shadowflame Shard carried on to the top sort of 8 players. It looks like there was a top cut, and then these are the top 4. So top 3, congratulations to Tyrant, Crumpet, Carry On, Ian, and Robin de Oliveira. Robin, we call you Robin, for getting the top 3. We'll go from the third to the first. So Robin was playing Necrofactorium. He has got a Viscerous with a really heavy cohort, which is what you'd expect to see. Soul Claiming Head, because that's the cheapest one. Then Axe and Shield, so Grievous Wound, Axe, and then +2 Armor Shield. That is repeated 3 times. 2 Raptors with a sort of cheap melee attack and arc nodes. Then Aculon Temestra, Iron Lich Commander, give Viscerous Stealth. Shatterbane Enliven, an auxiliary attack. Scarlet Lieutenant gives the Mechanifrow's Shield Guard. Probably just a bit of chaff. Shield Guard is always very good to have as well. Unit Criterions, and 2 units of Sludge Fowls. So I think Sludge Fowls is something we've seen pop up a lot in Crick's lists. Mechanifrow's with Shield Guards, again, are quite popular. Criterions are always very popular. And then the typical sort of cohort heavy list with a Viscerous. And then we have Kaiphos. So I expect to see Kaiphos come up a lot more. Let's quickly go and look at Viscerous cards. Blessing, Duck and Cover, Hit and Run, Old Faithful, and Sapper. So I think Blessing of the Gods, again, is something you'll probably see in every list. And then you've got some reposition, cover, and healing battle group, which makes sense for the heavy battle group list. Got Kaiphos with some defenses, all barriers, that makes sense. 2 3 Arc Node Reapers, Raptors, 1 with a range attack. Then Temestra, Iron Lich Commander. So both the solos, so 1 spell assist, 1 can befuddle, and extra abilities on both of those. But those abilities just stand out to me. And its commander can give Kaiphos stealth, also has Hex Blast, which is fantastic. Lieutenant with some Shield Guard, Mechanifrow's, Necrosurgeons to empower your Jacks, 2 Terrors, two Sludge Frails and Furies. So I think this is a package we see quite often with Cricks now. Two Sludge Frails, some Mechana Frails, Shield Guards, the Scarlet Lieutenant, and Iron Lich Commander. I think these are quite popular across all the lists. Fury's sort of slot well into any list that has Night Terrors because you've got the power of death, or power of undeath maybe. And then card-wise, you've got Pathfinder, Defenses, Duck and Cover, Lucky Penny, and Put the Fires out. Interestingly, no Blessing in this list, but you have Hex Blast on demand via Lich, so makes sense. So I'd say they're pretty typical for what we're seeing through Cricks. The Mechana Frail Shield Guard package, Iron Lich Commander for Hex Blast and Stealth on your Warcaster. Sludge Frails are pop up most of the time, and also Criterions are fantastic for their points. Temestra we're seeing a lot as well for the... I'm just going to fact check myself before I say that. I believe Temestra is the model with a spell assist spell slave and arcane assist. But I want to double check that before I carry on saying that. Yeah, so we got spell slave and arcane assist. So the other fella who is I can't remember his name, Zyphus, he has got the befuddle. So those two become quite popular. I think Temestra is more popular than Zyphus. But yeah, I think we're seeing some common trends in Cricks now with what we've seen so far. Congratulations on Robin for your third place, as well as making a top 4 cut. Next up, we got Ian with his Gravediggers. So congrats on getting second. We've got Vargas. I think Vargas is one of a caster I've seen in nearly every pairing for Gravediggers so far. Cards they've got they've taken both light airdrops, one heavy airdrop, so you can say that you can add a gun to one of these valiants. So, and then we've got 2 light airdrops, so you can take any of the crates, which are very good. And then you've also got the military engineering, and then Blessing, Breakthrough, Defenses, and Old Faithful. So Vargas with 3 Valiants and Plugger. Piston, Hammer, Volley Shield is a combination I see very well. Volley Shield are incredibly efficient. As I'm 90% sure that the Volley Shield has the boosted to hit when it's shooting warrior models. I again want to double check that before I carry on. Yeah, it's got Volley Fire. So against warrior models, it's incredibly efficient. You've got 3 boosts when you're attacking warrior models. Obviously, with Vargas, you get incredibly high armor. Plugger's incredibly good. Gun mages to support. Rangers are never bad. The CRAs compared with ammo crates, really damaging. And Black 13th is never bad. So I'd say this is quite typical for what I'm seeing for Vargas. Cohort heavy with gun mages to empower and some units to score the objectives, and also really strong. And then we've got, as a second list, we've got Hasker. So I'd say I've seen not as much Hasker. I feel like Jake and Boom Boom McCoy are the most common pairing at the moment. Let's see, we've got Hasker. We've got Beaker, so obviously excellent arc node, really great utility. Plugger, why wouldn't you? A Valiant with a bit of a cheaper loadout. We've got the Drag with a Harpoon Fist. I'm fairly sure that has Skewer. Yeah, it does. Great. And then we've got, interestingly, we've got Big Pig. So, a great stem model that works by himself. Commandos. Big Pig works quite well. Big Pig has eyeless sight. So you can place your clouds down and then shoot through them yourself, which is really great. 2 units commando, some gun mages to empower or utility shots, and also rowdies for more clouds. So it's really quite cool control list. You're able to, put clouds down and shoot through it with Big Pig. And then also you've got Hasker's feet to use the feet to sort of control the board. I think Gravediggers buck the trend in that they are bringing quite a lot of single wound infantry. They're still quite cohort heavy most of the time, but they're also bringing commandos, rangers, gun mages, and they're all single wound infantry. So I think Gravediggers do buck the trend in the sense of I'd say we typically see cohort heavy or multi wound infantry, but they do still bring some single wound infantry. Card wise, both light airdrops, no heavy airdrop for the Valiants this time. Old Faithful, Defenses, Breakthrough, Blessing, Hit and Run, and Military Engineering. So pretty standard. I say Blessing again is the most common card we see. Interestingly, not much Lucky Penny this time, but a lot of utility cards like Hit and Run, Breakthrough. I think there was Duck and Cover in the previous list. So the cards seem quite varied so far. And then congrats on Tyrant Crumpet for taking the win here. We first up with Shadowflame Shard. We have Nixian, so it's quite interesting. Nixian, I think, it's a bit more of a like a underutilized slash lesser known maybe. Feel like when people think of Shadowflame Shard, they go to Cyrus and Kyrak. So it's great to see Nixian sort of getting a bit of love. We've got the character War Beast Achilles, character War Beast Skylex, Vipex with Hunter's Mark, which is classic. Pythia, so you've got that guidance auto hit. I believe Pythia also has another rule which I can't quite put my my finger on what it is. It was Arcane Assist, yes. So she can let you upkeep a spell for free if you're within 5, and Nixian has a few upkeeps, so that makes sense. Then we have Paragon, so reduced shooting, Knights, Quick Bang Stalkers, Talon Lashers, and Shades. So, I think Nixian works quite well with lots of infantry to make use of prey. Quick Bang Stalkers are very quick. Shades are incredible unit. And then they got the Talon Lashers, which I just want to double check. These are the guys with Gang and the 3-inch and Repo. Yeah, so I really like Talon Lashers. Very easy to trigger Gang. Synergize that with Prey. So your Mat 10, Power 14. The Drag is really good to dragging things into threat range of other models / units in your army. So that's Nixian. Then we have paired with Nixian, we have Kyrax. Yep, so we have the Trichimerex. We have the Negation Tail, which makes total sense. We have the Vipek with Hunter's Mark. Vipek with Shashin. So I believe this is the tail that lets you... let's triple check that before I carry on. Shashin. Yeah, so this gives you a way to strip upkeeps. Also gives you a way for Kyrax to trigger Alpha Hunter with a spell. So that's really good. You can move up with Kyrax, do this on a model, kill it, trigger the Alpha Hunter from range. So really good. 2 Paragons to protect your list from shooting. Quick Bang Stalkers. Now I believe these are the single infantry unit, and again I want to double check that as we're going. Yeah, with anatomical. Good shaft. They're fast. Good to get in the way of things. 2 Talon Death Dealers, the 3-inch melee guys. 2 Talon Lashers, the 3-inch melee guys with knockdown. I think crit knockdown, and they've got drag. I'm going to double check that. Talon Lashers, yep. Then you've also got Death Dealers. These are the Grievous Wound guys with finisher. Bit higher damage, and obviously Grievous Wounds. Great against anything with tough or anything you think you're going to go into in not one round. And then the Shadow Monsters for the utility. I believe these guys condition your guys and can place clouds. They can condition. I made up the clouds. Oh, they're Cinderbats can play clouds, I think. So yeah, they can condition, and they have an arcane attack and guidance. But mainly that, I think they have a fury management. Nice. So we've got Kyrax. Probably this can crack armor really hard with the Trichimerex, and trades up incredibly efficient against any infantry with the feet. And obviously Nixian combining Prey with other things with Curse of Shadows, a great example, can also hit very hard. So 2 great lists. Congrats on Tyrant for winning the event. I think again we don't see too much single win infantry here. See a couple of units of the Quick Bang Stalkers. The rest is all multi-wound or cohort. So I think that's a trend we're seeing so far. And in terms of cards, both got Blessing, both got defenses. Hit and run. Actually, the same cards apart from Put the Fires Out and Duck and Cover. I think they're the only things that rotate out. But I think Blessing, Hit and Run, sort of Duck and Cover on any heavy infantry list is really popular. So yeah, congrats Tyrant on your 2-0, sorry, but you made the top cut. So actually, I think you played 5 games to get there. Next up, we've got Dragon's Fury Wrath. This is from Oregon in the USA. I'm just going to go through the top team here because this is a team event and with 5 players in the top team. Big shout out to Amusing Panda, John. He's been really kind in offering me advice and guidance on the game as a content creator as a new one. So congrats to the team.
Let's take a look at what list they brought to this event. So we've got Brandon Owens. He brought Gravediggers. And he got Jake's with a really sort of heavy cohort. I'm fairly sure Jake's has got Synergy. And I again want to fact check myself as I'm doing this. Yeah, I believe he did. So that makes sense that, you've got a really heavy cohort. In fact, your whole list is basically a cohort. You've got some gun mages to empower or shoot with their tech shots. Some rangers, maybe CRA. It's just a unit to water score an objective, and storm veins, which are arc nodes, and again a sort of cheap unit to score an objective. Card wise, you've got the 2 light airdrops. I think every Gravediggers will have the 2 light airdrops, and then some sort of tech command cards. Blessing of the Gods is there again, as well as the things you'd expect to see with a cohort heavy army. And then you've got 2 Valiants with swords and fists, so sort of a cheap, nice version of Valiant. Plugger, and then a few lights to build up synergy, or and once synergy is +3, they hit fairly hard. And then you also got Beaker, great utility piece. Silence of Death on the, which isn't obviously you pick this every game, but if you Silence of Death a Patriot when you're +3 synergy, your +5 damage can really trade up really well. The feat acrobatics makes assassinations like really hard to protect against. So yeah, I really love that list. Really making the best use of synergy. And next up, who do we have next? We have Vargas. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. I think Vargas is in every digger pairing that I'm seeing recently. We have another really heavy cohort list with 1, 2 Valiants, a Plugger, and a Beaker. So both characters, 2 Valiants with volley, shields, and swords, and aggressive. And then splattering a solo, 1 solo, 2 gun mages to empower or tech, rangers for CRA and a unit, and rowdies for cloud walls, great tech as well. In this one, we've got both heavy airdrops, so you can attach a weapon to both your Valiant. Both light airdrops, blessing, defenses, and military engineering. I think defenses is another one we can call out. That defenses are really popular, probably in like 50% of the list so far. We've seen defenses. So if you're thinking about maybe is Sapper worth it, I would say yes. I'm running Sapper in both my lists at the moment, or every list I play. And I think defenses are something you'll see a lot in competitive scene. Next up is Justin. Now again, this is Infernals. We have Zatarov, who is the feat that gives you defense, and Agathon, who I believe is the feat which you have to pay 1 more Focus of Fury to do a spell, and she gives additional dice, drop the lowest on arcane attacks. I'm not going to pretend to know what all of these solos do. I'll be honest with you, I think there's just too many to feasibly learn and remember. So this is the Infernal list. Congrats to Justin, and credit to you for knowing what all of that stuff does. I will try and learn Infernals at one point, maybe, but I haven't had the time I've recently started a new job with the Bank of England, and I've been very busy, so unfortunately I haven't had the time to deep dive Infernals. So congrats, Justin, and your lists, I'm sure, are pretty killer. Next up, we've got Eric with Shadow Flame Shard. So defenses, we have Kyrax with Trichimerics, Negation Head, Vipex with Hunter's Mark, Vipex with Bladed Gale. So this will allow you to trigger Alpha Hunter from range again. Pythia, Arcane Assist, really good. And also, I believe you can cast a spell through Pythia, so you can cast those Hunter's Mark. So you cast the Hunter's Mark or the Bladed Gale to trigger Alpha Hunter from far away. Paragon to protect from shooting. Knights, Death Dealers, Lashes, so 3-inch melee, Grievous Wounds here, and Shadow Monsters. So yeah, pretty typical for what I'm seeing from Kyrax recently. You've got the Trike to crack your armor. These units trade really well under Kyrax feet. Incarnate Knights hit incredible. Well, they don't hit too hard, but they're hard to remove, and the Paragon protects you from shooting. It makes sense. And also, defenses again, blessing again, and then some other cards. And then we've got Cyrus, I believe. Yep, we've Achilles, character War Beast, Skillia, character War Beast, Vipex, Hunter's Mark, Pythia, Spinner, Paragon to protect from shooting, Knights, Shafi, Stalkers, Shades are very good, 2 Lashes, and Shadow Monsters. So, yeah, Cyrus is not surprised to see there. We have defenses again. Again, we do see, I'd say, with Legion, Shadow Flame Shard, we're seeing a couple of the Quick Fang Stalkers pop around maybe. But again, we have a heavy cohort list with a bunch of multi-wound infantry. And here we have one unit of Quick Fang Stalkers with some cohort and multi-wound infantry. So I think it's very safe to say at this point that we can confirm the trend that the single wound infantry right now is, you don't see much of it. And I think Gravediggers do buck that trend. Next up, we have Alex with Storm Legion. And he has Kane with some lights, with a fair bit of shooting, Deuce, Zephyr, which is the sort of chariot model, arcane mechanics, legionnaires, Vanes, legionnaires, so Storm Lance legionnaires, and then Storm Thrower. So these are the guys with sprays. These are the cavalry. They've got an UA and they've got Black 13th. So really heavy shooting list with great assassination threat with Kane, Deuce, Black 13th, and all of these lights if they do get line of sight. So that's great to see. I don't see too much Kane from Storm Legion. Typically, I'd say it's Huxley and Calder. So it's great to see a bit of Kane. Next up, we have Wolf. So it's pretty nice, pretty atypical sort of Storm Legion pairing. So I very, very rarely see Athena. Sparkhammer sometimes sort of squeezes in. Wolf and Kane, I'd say I see a little bit at the time, but not a great deal. And I'd say Calder and Huxley is what we see mostly. So it's great to see a bit of Wolf and Kane. We have the General, a fantastic character. Deuce, so both characters. The solo in Falk, 2 Legion officers because they're probably the best solos in the game for your points. Mechanics to empower, repair. Stormlance Legionnaires, the cavalry are fantastic. Vanes, which are Arc Node. Stormblade Legionnaires, so these got Jack Hunter, incredibly good at killing Warjacks. Storm Guard Legionnaires. I'm going to be very, very real with you now. I'm not 100% au fait with the difference between a Storm Guard Legionnaire and a Storm Blade Legionnaire. So I'm going to quickly check that for myself. So we're going to go to units Storm Blade and Storm Guard. Okay, so that's good to know. So the Storm Guard Legionnaires, these are the Jack Hunter unit, and Storm Blade have Shield Wall from by the looks of it, and Polarity Field, which you can't be slashed by a construct model. Okay, that's cool. Some Storm Thrower Legionnaires and Black 13th. So this is quite nice to see. Quite a lot of single wind infantry in this list, which you don't see a lot of. Obviously, Wolf's feet, the more that gets killed, the more value you get from the feet. So that's nice to see. And cards wise, we have no defenses in this one, which is cool. We have Blessing, we have Lucky Penny, Hit and Run, Pathfinder, and Old Faithful. So that's quite a nice list to see. Quite atypical to what we see from the meta, and quite an atypical sort of Storm Legion pairing. So that is really cool. And congratulations, congrats Alex for being on the winning team, and then John, Amusing Panda with his House Callus. So we've got Hazeroth, and one thing I say, with House Callus currently is what they're also doing, sort of bucks the trend, is that they're normally typically being cohort light, and then lots and lots of infantry. People seem to be really down on Eidolons. I really quite like the Eidolons with Repulsor Shield. I think Repulsor Shield is a really, really strong rule. But I haven't got the army, and people doing what they're doing. So we have Hazeroth with defenses. Spectre. I'm fairly sure the Spectre is an Arc node. But again, I want to double check this and make sure I'm saying the right things. Spectre is an Arc node. It makes sense. And then we have Dias, the solo, which I believe can take damage and keep a model alive if it's a Ghost of Ios. Ios. Okay, no, that is incorrect. It is attaches to your Warcaster. It's a spell slave and has telemetry, which is very good, and Kiss of Lilith for +2 damage. Okay, so some great utility in this model. Mage Hunter commanders, Mage Hunter snipe teams. So already a great amount of shooting there. Magnus, very efficient model that doesn't require any support. Valis, so maybe this is the model which is the Spirit Vessel, Threads of Life. Okay, yeah. So Valis can keep models alive if they're a Ghost of Ios within 10. She takes some damage. Then you've got Dreadguard Archers, so multi-wound, Dreadguard Cavalry. Dreadguard Cavalry are incredibly good, and you've got Slayers. So you've got a really a sort of efficient shooting squad in these Mage Hunters, and then you've got and Dreadguard Archers actually. Then you've got some really heavy hitting stuff with Dreadguard Cavalry. The Valis can help keep a few bits alive, and a completely self-sufficient model in Magnus. Quite like this, not like typical to every Hazeroth list I've seen, and I'm sure when the Phantasm comes out, we're going to see quite a few Hazeroth lists slotting a Phantasm as well. Next up, we have Helith. So this is quite funny locally to me. Like people tend to play like Skyrfell, Tyrus, and Moraine. So it's funny that across the pond we've now got sort of a Helith Hazeroth combination. So it's great to see. Defenses again with Israfel. So again, one cohort model, and then we have Kruger. Kruger is fantastic. I think if I could run Kruger, I can't in Brian Bloods, but I probably would run him if I could in any army. We've got the Mage Hunter Commander, so a little shooting package. Magnus again, completely self-sufficient. A Void Shaper, 2 Dreadguard Archers, 2 Dreadguard Cavalry, and Seeker Adepts. So it's quite a similar list to what we see above. We have a shooting package to sort of maybe remove Chaff or open up a Shards lane. We have the Archers, which are the multi-wound infantry shooting, 2 Dreadguard Cavalry, which hit just really, really hard, and the Seeker Adepts. And the Seeker Adepts, I believe these are the unit that support the battle group. Yeah, so these are the Empower guys that can power up. They also have Exorcism, which is very good, so you could give it Spell Ward, and you can also heal friendly Factor Warrior models. Obviously very good for your Dreadguard Archers or your Dreadguard Cavalry, but they tend to fire off and kill. I really like these two lists, very different to what I see locally to me, so that's great, and love the inclusion of Kruger. Card-wise, no Blessing here. We have Careful, Recon, Defenses, Hit and Run, Lucky Penny, and Put the Fires out. I believe Helith has can remove upkeeps with one of her shots. Dispel. So yeah, it makes sense that you don't necessarily need Blessing of the Gods when you've got 2 Dispel shots on demand every turn. John, really like your list. A massive shout out to the team that plays top of that team event. Justin, apologise I didn't do a deep dive onto your list. I'm still got to learn Infernals and take the time to do that. But congrats to everyone in the team. And congrats on your 3-0 as a team. Next up, we've got the Tabletop Combat SummerSlam. This is in the UK. This is 9 players. And we've got a top 3 of Martin, Luke, and Kurt. I think Martin is a name that we all sort of know from Welsh Masters. Unfortunately, Martin's lists aren't showing. I'm going to ask Martin for his list and maybe go through it separately. But we've got Luke and we've got Kurt as well in the top 3. So congrats, Martin, on your Brian Bloods. After I do this, I'll have to ask you in person what your lists were because we both play Brian Bloods, and that would be good to talk about. So we'll go through Luke and Kurt's lists. Luke playing Old Umbre. Really, really great to see. We've got Janna. I'm really excited to play Janna in Old Umbre. We have a Feral. The Alke head. I believe this is the guard dog head for the Feral. I'm going to double check that live. Guard dog, great. So you've got 2 guard dog heads. Makes sense with Janna because you want a +2 def in melee and no KD. Bony Spine. So this is Primal. And Wings is Rush. So 2 great tech spells. Primeval with Bone Sword and Enchanted Shield. Bone Sword hits incredibly hard, +2 armor for the shield. And the Bear Head, I don't quite know the head sit off by heart. That is Earth Blessing, so no can't push stationary knockdown. And then we've got another Primeval with the Stag Head and Sword and Shield. And the Stag Head is Undergrowth, so within 5 inches you're -1, -2 defense. And you have sort of some Fury control in Stag, and also rough ground within 5 for the Animus. You also have Strix, fantastic character, War Beast, and Admonition, Lightning Strike as an Animus. Lightning Strike for Janna is really, really good. Vilcol with Razor. Vilcol hits quite hard. And again, these guys are self-sufficient. The Jackal, so the brutal damage if you hit a big base. Is it just a big base? Or is it specifically a Warjack or beast brutal damage? On direct hit. Oh, okay. So I correct myself there. It's just brutal. If he hits, he gets brutal damage against anything he hits. Also, crit stagger. Can against a colossal if it comes up really big. Veroni to ferry corpses, and the character unit which hit surprisingly hard, hit quite accurately, and have some cool tech with blind in there or flame burst, amongst other things. And then we've got the Winter Fox with defenses. So this is the feat for +2 defense and reposition. 5. Her gun has got bait line for +2 charges. Got a feral, same setup, rush primal, 2 primevals, which I believe are the same setup. I think it's actually maybe the same list apart from Veroni and the Jackal have been swapped out for the Hounds. Really excited to see Old Umbre sort of really land. I think once the core box lands and you get access to a lot more support, so you get the Shearlings, you get Animuses, you get the shapeshifting models, you get Aslanov. I think that will unlock a lot more of the faction, and I think we'll start seeing some like fully sort of like teched out lists then, and not fully because we're still waiting for the last box, but more teched out lists and obviously a lot more options in how you play. So congrats, Luke, on taking the 2-1, and I really loved your list. Just make a quick comment on the cards. We've got defenses on one, defenses on the other, and blessing in both. And again, no real single win infantry, cohort heavy, but obviously that's because the single win infantry isn't out yet. So that makes that choice easy for Luke. And Kurt, third with Shadowflame Shard. We have Nixian with Achilles and Vipex, so a couple of cohorts and a Wyvern. Hunter's Mark makes complete sense. Belagal to enrage the Wyvern. Pythia for arcane assist and Channeler. Paragon protect you from shooting. Knights and Shades. Ignite's really hard to kill. Shades are very good at killing. Lashes. So these are the 3-inch gang. Cinderback for a bit of support. They shoot, they place clouds, and Shadow Manchers can provide some fury management. And card wise, we have defenses again, which is very popular at the moment, and blessing. And then we have Cyrus with Chimera. We have the negation tower in there. We have a Vipex with Lady Gal, so the Animus, offensive Animus. We have Hunter's Mark, another Vipex with Lady Gale. Belial to sort of enrage any of these. Riven stacks really well with the Trichimerics for a pseudo +2 armor. 2 Talon Lashes, 3-inch melee guys, and Shadow Monsters. Congrats, Kurt, for getting third. Pretty typical list again. We see Cyrus with a Trichimerics and heavy cohort. Nixian again, nice, great to see Nixian again. Maybe I was wrong saying that it's sort of underused. Maybe doing this every month, I'll see that Nixian's actually plenty used. And we sort of see typically lots of multi-wound infantry again, no single wound infantry, and also heavy cohort. That is the 3 events I'm going to look at today. And I just want to, because I didn't do this in the last video, I want to put like an overall summary on what I've seen today and what I think we're seeing. I'd love to hear your feedback on if you think what I'm going to comment here is accurate or not. So first of all, I think we're certainly seeing not much or any single wound infantry across the list we looked at today. I think Gravediggers bucked that trend, and the one Wolf list we saw from Storm Legion did buck that trend. But largely we see very cohort heavy armies or multi-wound heavy armies. Not much single wound infantry at all. Secondly, I think defences is very popular at the moment. So I think bringing Sapper is very relevant if you're going to a competitive event, because I think you can expect to see defences quite a bit. And I think Blessing of the Gods is an incredibly popular card. Because when you're trying to keep one key model alive, it lets you negate that spell. And often I find that one key model is all you really need to push in your favour or win the game completely. So I think that's what we can comment on today. I think we're seeing Cricks certainly have a certain package, you know, Mechanothrall, Shield Guard, Sludge Thralls, Criterions. That's very popular. I'm really excited to see what happens when the Phantasm sort of arrives in person, and that starts getting put into lists. We've got Old Umbre Core Box coming in August, so that will allow people in person to start playing a bit more fully packed out Old Umbre list. And then obviously following September, we've got the last Old Umbre box, and then in October we're going to get some Kith card, I assume. So if you made it this far in the video, massively grateful for you making this far. I hope you sort of enjoyed looking through the list with me and getting an idea of what we're seeing in the meta. And until the next one, guys, I'll see you very soon.